All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Sarah Wallace is suing Max Guerin in the amount of $5,000. Ms. Wallace claims her roommate unplugged their internet router and says she was fired for missing a remote meeting. Mr. Guerin is countersuing for $355.
All right, I understand that we have a couple of roommates in here, Harvey. Big dispute. You're suing your roommate for $5,000. He's suing you for another $355 in what we call a countersuit. How did you all become roommates to begin with?
Your Honor, I had a two-bedroom apartment that I was living in with my college roommate. She unfortunately had to relocate. A bedroom opened up, and then a mutual friend of ours, Jim, connected us both, and that's ultimately how he ended up moving in.
And how long were you all roommates before this whole blow-up happened that you're in court about?
About 10 months we were living together.
All right, and so you want to tell me what happened and why you're in here suing him?
Yes. Your Honor, when he moved in, I knew immediately it was not going to be a good fit.
Well, wait a minute. Did you not talk to him before he moved in? I mean, you're busy with work, but did you not sit down and kind of talk about this?
Our mutual friend vouched for him, and I, as an adult human being, I sort of assume that most other adult human beings have a modicum of cleanliness that they sort of operate in. So I was a little bit shocked to discover that Max operates, to put it lightly, like a slovenly pig child.
Wait a minute, that's putting it lightly?
Yes, that's putting it lightly.
That's putting it lightly?
It's kind of harsh.
I mean, I'd hate to know what not putting it lightly is like. So, come on, Max, you are the roommate, a mutual person put you all together. Did you all sit down and kind of talk about what the expectations were going to be in this apartment?
No, Your Honor. So basically, Jim, I told Jim that I was looking for an apartment to stay in. I needed a roommate.
Right.
And he just told me that he had a friend. She was nice. He basically told me that she's looking for a roommate. I moved in there. We didn't sit down. We just basically both trusted Jim.
Man, Jim seems to be a linking piece here. So what did Jim tell you about her, if anything? He just said she was nice.
He said she's nice. She has some good position with the company. She's very professional. You probably won't see her much because I'm a bartender, so I work really late nights. So I wasn't supposed to see her at all. So.
Oh, okay. So you all are kind of like ships passing in the night.
Yeah, basically.
I'm assuming you work during the day. He works at night. Seems like that would work.
You would think that that would be ideal. However, he left evidence of his living throughout during the day.
So what does that mean? Tell me what that means. So you're being, if you tell me that he basically is a pig, and you said that was lightly, what was he doing?
Your Honor, have you ever smelled 3-week-old Chinese food that has molded to the coffee table?
No.
Yeah, no, why would you? I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. You would think that having a California state of health and safety to be a bartender, that he would have some sort of idea of like what health and safety would be. But he would leave dishes in the sink. I created a chore chart because as adults, I would think that he would be able to sort of, I don't know, clean up after himself. But he would leave things around. I would come home from a long day. It would be absolutely disgusting. And it got to the point where I had to start doing everything myself.
So when you mean doing everything yourself, you're saying that he would leave the dishes, he would leave you to do all the cleaning?
Everything.
After him? I mean, we're not talking about general cleaning in the apartment. We're saying that the dishes were left, food was left out. You're telling me Chinese food was left and that you would have to clean up. Did you all ever sit down and talk about this? Max, what's going on?
She's really exaggerating things.
Oh, she's exaggerating. Okay,
yeah.
so tell me what was going on.
Okay, well, first of all, she's not telling you what she did. She didn't clean the stuff that I left out. She would, for example, bring the dishes, leave them on my bed, the dirty dishes out of the sink, leave them on my bed after they've only been there for like 2 days.
Your Honor.
And she also brought a trash bag in there just because I didn't take it out. She's saying she did them herself. If she did them herself, the Chinese food wouldn't be there for 3 weeks. She didn't do anything.
Okay, we had a chore chart, right? Because it got to the point where I would say to him, hey, could you please, I know that you work hours and you work with people that are, I don't know, can you please we have a dishwasher. Put your dishes in the dishwasher. Take the trash out. But it got to the point where he was ignoring me repeatedly, and I was talking to a blank wall, so the only message that I was able to send him was to put it all in a bag and throw it in his room.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
You're suing him for $5,000. Why?
His negligent and malicious actions caused me to lose my job.
And later,
Did you all sit down and talk about the plans for this graduation party before it happened?
2 months prior.
2 months prior.
Yes, Your Honor.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Sarah Wallace, who is suing Max Guerin for lost wages.
Let's get to why you're actually here. You're suing him for $5,000. Why?
Well, Your Honor, his negligent and malicious actions caused me to lose my job.
What? How?
Well, so it all started Sunday night. We had gotten in an argument.
What kind of argument?
So I had, as you know, I work in a very stressful job, and a lot of people rely on me. And I had a bunch of papers that needed to get notarized, and I left them on the counter. And this was after I had asked him repeatedly to take the trash out. And in malicious compliance, he took the trash and my papers and threw them out.
Did you do that?
It was not done on purpose. I had no idea what those papers were. It was on top of like a newspaper stack. She obviously wasn't organized. It was next to the trash on the side of the counter. The papers were there. I just threw everything out together.
It had a watermark with confidential stamped on it with the logo of my company. There was no way he did not know what he was doing.
So I bet you that started an argument. So what happened after that?
Well, so I would like to show you Exhibit A of evidence, Your Honor.
Please.
I received this text. Thank you. Where I can't remember it off the top of my head, you will read it, where he says, I'm so completely done with you, you're ruining the apartment, something to the effect of, I'm going to teach you a lesson.
All right, it says, I am, and this is all in caps, so completely done with you screwing up the apartment. And you say, I told you to take the trash out. Well, maybe I'll teach you a lesson. All right, Max, what was going on?
There wasn't anything that I was planning. I was just gonna
You don't
show
say,
her.
I'm going to teach you a lesson unless you have something in mind.
All right, so let's get to the real core, bottom line of why you're here. You're suing Max because you say you lost your job.
Yes.
And something happened, though, with the internet and the Wi-Fi connection.
Yes.
Can we get to that?
Yes, yes. We had spoken previously that day because I had a very, very important Zoom meeting the next day. I work from home sometimes, and I was hosting the Zoom meeting, which meant that I had to log on first so that I could let everybody in. I wake up the next morning, and I go to log on to the meeting when I find out that the internet is not on. And Max keeps the router in his room.
All right, so stop right there because I read the complaint. Why was the router in Max's room?
That's where the cable had been previously established by the company.
Okay, so Max, what happened with the router?
The night before, the internet connection was very spotty, so I wanted to do a hard reset. I unplugged it as I was getting ready, to leave for out of town, and I'm just a forgetful person. I forgot to plug it back in.
That's not the lesson you were trying to teach me?
No.
No?
It's not.
So it is your sworn testimony, because you're under oath, that you literally unplugged it with the intentions of plugging it back, but you forgot it, left town, and locked the door.
Correct.
And that's part of your counterclaim. It is your counterclaim for the $355 because the door was damaged. So I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But on that morning, you can't get into his room. The router is not working, And so what did you do?
Your Honor, I panicked. I had absolutely no other choice than to break the door down.
And so you broke the door down. You have evidence about the
Yes,
door
I
being
do.
broken. Let me see that, please.
Yeah, she broke the whole door casing and the door jamb.
All right, let me see that. Okay, how much of this money, the $5,000, is that all because you lost your job? Okay, and your salary was what?
I was making $2,500 a month, and I was out of work for 2 months.
You were out of work for 2 months. So after this happened, were you immediately fired?
Yes, and Your Honor, I was immediately fired. I was called an embarrassment to my company, and I was let go immediately.
It should come as no surprise that the executive team at blank company, we won't talk about the company name, has been dissatisfied with your work ethic and consistency, and we see it fit to go in separate ways. It sounds like to me there was a lot more going than the internet that morning. This termination letter is not triggered on just that internet situation and those lost papers. Clearly there had been a pattern of some problems. Do I think that there should be some consideration? Yes. Do I think that there should be an offset about the door? You're going to pay for your own door. So I'm going to enter judgment in her favor of $1,000, and I'm going to dismiss your counterclaim. But Sarah, you know, next time you probably wouldn't get anything because, again, there were certain things that were going on in that situation that both of you all could have had a mutual understanding about and come to terms with that would not have escalated to the point it did. That is my judgment. We'll stand adjourned. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. The counterclaim is offset and therefore dismissed. We will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,000.
Have fun in your new sty.
Can't wait to never see you again.
Likewise.
Please exit to the rear of the court. Serve your documents.
Coming up,
What has been the relationship since you all divorced?
We tried to co-parenting. It's been a battle because he shuts down and he doesn't communicate effectively.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Desiree Jenkins is suing Terrell Lofton in the amount of $918.13. Ms. Jenkins claims her ex-husband agreed to pay for their daughter's graduation party and says the defendant bought their daughter a car instead.
I understand that you are suing the defendant for $918.13 to be exact. You all share a child, right, in common?
Yes.
How old is this child?
She's 18.
So at one point you all had a relationship, and tell me about that relationship. I want to see the background.
We met in college. I was a sophomore, he was a senior. We was married for 5 years. We separated when she was 3 and had a divorce when she was 8.
So you separated when she was 3, but didn't get a divorce until she was 8?
Yes.
Why did it take you all so long to get a divorce? Mr. Lofton?
I'm not sure, Your Honor.
Those things just kind of happen, don't
Yeah.
they? What has been the relationship since you all divorced? What's been happening?
We tried to co-parenting. It's been a battle because he shuts down and he doesn't communicate effectively. That's why we divorced in the first place, because he's not a communicator.
I try and speak with her. I think I communicate very well. It's just that she doesn't receive what I'm saying correctly. She misinterprets things.
He misinterprets things. He's selective hearing.
I disagree.
We see why they're divorced.
Yeah.
And we see why they're on different sides of my courtroom today.
Coming up,
What was the agreement about how the party would be paid for, Mr. Lofton?
I let her know that if she needed any assistance, that I would assist, and she just needs to let me know.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Desiree Jenkins, who is suing Terrell Lofton for breach of contract.
All right, so now you have this wonderful daughter. I understand from the complaint that there was a graduation party, yes?
Yes.
So tell me about the party.
We got together 2 months before graduation, and I called him, and we sat down over the phone and talked about agreeing on doing her graduation party. We was having discrepancy in doing her graduation because everything I would say, he would say the opposite.
Did you all sit down and talk about the plans for this graduation party before it happened?
2 months prior.
2 months prior.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what was the agreement between the two of you about this graduation party? Mr. Lofton, what happened?
Well, she was telling me all the things she wanted to do, and I said, well, it might be best if she takes the reins and plan it out.
Oh, so you gave her the authority to plan the party?
Yes, Your Honor.
So that you all couldn't agree on how the party was going to be planned. What was the agreement about how the party would be paid for, Mr. Lofton?
I let her know that if she needed any assistance, that I would assist, and she just needs to let me know.
Oh, okay. So why are you in my courtroom? If he agreed that he would give any financial assistance for this graduation party, then why are you suing him?
Because he didn't hold his bargain on the graduation party like he's saying he was supposed to.
So, all right, so this is a graduation party. He says that he gave you full authority to plan the party.
Yes.
He said that he would do whatever he needed to do to support the party financially.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
So how did we come up with almost $1,000?
I have the receipt here.
Let me see those.
The breakdown of everything.
All right. So, were you at the party?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, party was nice.
It was great.
Why not pay for the half of the party?
Your Honor, I didn't receive that. And at the party, I showed up to the party with my present for my daughter. I got her a new car. Well, it's a used car, but for her, it's new.
Yeah.
That I put down $1,000 on.
Let me
You
see
can use
that.
that toward the party instead of getting her a car.
Did you ever say to Miss Jenkins, hey, now listen, you know what? You need to pay for the party because I'm buying our daughter a car?
I didn't say that.
What I have before me is a case involving your agreement, verbal, and you've acknowledged that you should pay for half the party. So you're going to pay her the $918.13 that she has outlined in her evidence here. I understand about the car, I think that's great, but it doesn't relieve you of the responsibility for half of this graduation party. Be grateful you've got a daughter who graduated. Be grateful you have a daughter you all can both celebrate. But for right now, in this case, judgment for the plaintiff for the reasons I've so stated will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $918.13.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that was a hesitation right there.
So what do you all like when you're not in here?
I just try not to see her.
He shuts down.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling,
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
compassionate,
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
she's powerful,
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
and she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Fiona Egan is suing Rachel Egan in the amount of $2,500. Ms. Egan claims her twin sister moved out and says it took months to find someone else to move in after her sister criticized her to potential roommates.
You all are not only sisters, you're twin sisters. But you're suing your twin sister for $2,500. You all were roommates, and now you all basically have had this big falling out. Whew. Why $2,500?
I'm suing my sister, Rachel, for the money that she owes me because we used to be roommates and then my sister moved out. That's fine, but she badmouthed me to all the potential roommates I could find. And so it took me 2 months to find a roommate. And I couldn't pay that rent. So I'm out $2,500 and I want my sister to pay it.
But there's a backstory to this. There's always a backstory. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. There's always a backstory. So you all lived together for the first year. And then what happened? What happened? You want to tell me, Rachel, what happened?
Your Honor, my sister was difficult to live with for a number of reasons.
Why? Why was she so difficult to live with?
I started dating someone soon after I moved in. His name's Jake, and now we're moving in together. So
I told you there was a backstory. Didn't I tell you? I know how this works. There is always a backstory. So you all were roommates, and how long had you all been roommates before Jake comes up on the scene?
not long, maybe a month.
So now really Jake is the third roommate. Let's be honest.
That's very true, actually.
What?
He was over all the time, and it was ridiculous because he's not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
I was very, very against.
Oh, this gets to be more complicated. It wasn't just the boyfriend who was there all of the time. Now you're telling me that he wasn't a good guy.
No.
What was wrong with him?
He was really creepy, honestly.
Creepy? How so?
Okay, so I was at this party once, and he just comes up from behind me and just like puts his arm around me, and he's like, he just started like kissing me. And I was just like,
did he think
what?
maybe he thought that you were Rachel? No?
No, because
No?
I have short hair. I've always had short hair. She always has long hair. So
Oh, okay. So there was no mistaken identity. He couldn't say, "Oh my God, I thought you were Rachel."
no, I think he tried to spin it that way, but I'm pretty sure.
Your Honor.
Well, you all do. I mean, you're twin sisters, but your hairstyles are very different. So, it's not like you could get confused, all right? So then what happened? He comes and you think he's creepy and he does this, and what happens?
I confronted him right there. I was saying, I'm not comfortable with that. You're dating my sister. Please just back off. And he was like, oh, yeah, no. I thought you were her. But then he's over at our house all the time in like his underwear. He's just like on the couch. And it's so weird. And I didn't like him being at our house. And I think that's fair. And I would tell my sister about that. And she would always decide with him.
Your Honor, that is not what happened. Okay.
But now, is he paying rent?
No, he's not paying rent.
Is he paying any utilities? Is he contributing? It sounds like he became the third roommate.
He cooks us all dinner all the time.
Yeah, like
But
once
that's
a
not
month.
the question I asked you. Was he there often?
A few days a week, maybe.
A few days, does that mean 4, 5,
3, let's say
3?
At
Yeah.
least.
I was at his place a lot. I was trying to balance it out because I knew that, my sister and I are sharing a place. It's not huge. I wanted to be a respectful roommate. And I would talk to my sister a lot about it. I would ask her if everything was okay, if it was okay for him to come over. And she would always say it was fine.
Oh, I doubt that.
Thank you.
I doubt that. I doubt that. She said, oh, yeah, great, come on. Like him, Jake, come on and move in. I mean, I'm exaggerating. But I doubt that she was saying, fine, great. Mm-hmm. Love him being here.
After the
Love
first-
seeing the underwear on the sofa.
Okay, I have to say, he did not kiss you at the party, okay? I asked him about it because she talked to me about it soon after it happened, and I was concerned. I want to make sure I'm dating someone who's
Yeah, I
trustworthy.
wanted to get back to that. So you all talked about it, and what was your reaction?
He said that he had walked up to her from behind, and he thought that she was me. And I honestly, we're identical twins. I believe him.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
I would hear her on the phone in her room, like on the phone with our mom, just crying about something. And I wasn't sure what she was crying about. But when I would ask her about it, she just wouldn't say anything.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Fiona Egan, who is suing her twin sister, Rachel Egan, for unpaid rent.
And what happens with that particular first-year lease?
So every time he's over, and even when he's not over, my twin sister, and we grew up together, we shared a room as kids. It was always good. So I actually was really hopeful that we would be good roommates to each other. And we were both new to LA. We just thought it was gonna work out. And then the moment that I started dating Jake, then it just got weird. Like my sister kept being kind of passive aggressive to me. Just
Like how? Tell me how.
She would just kind of blow up at little things, and I would ask her if anything was wrong, and then she wouldn't say anything. But then I would hear her on the phone in her room, like on the phone with our mom, just crying about something. And I wasn't sure what she was crying about. But when I would ask her about it, she just wouldn't say anything. She would just say, it's fine, I don't want to talk about it.
So wait a minute. So when your sister would ask you if you were okay, you wouldn't talk to her about it? You wouldn't really articulate what was going on?
I would try, but she wasn't really asking. She was like, oh, hey, you okay? Okay, I'm gonna go hang out with Jake now. How was I supposed to get any word in?
Well, but then why not say, hey, look, Rachel, we need to sit down and talk. This is my apartment too. I'm really irritated. Jake is getting on my last nerve. I mean, why not be more aggressive in having a real conversation? This is not a stranger. This is not a roommate that you found on social media. This is your sister, right? You all grew up together. You shared a room together. Come on, work with me on this.
Yes, but it's been 6 months, and she has not given me the money that she owes me. I don't know how to talk to her anymore.
I mean, well, I'm going to get to the money. I'm talking about while you all were roommates. She says that you would go into your room and that you would call your mother and that you would cry. What was that about?
Well, we just moved to LA from Massachusetts. Like, we both didn't know anybody here. We were just...
Except Jake.
Except Jake.
Except Jake.
Great. And it was really hard. It was really hard to adjust. And so it was tough to not be able to talk to her about it, because she's like pretending that everything's fine. Really, she's just like pretending it's all fine when she's hanging out with Jake.
Everything is fine with me. I'm having a really good time in my new city. I like my life. I have a good community. And my sister, I think, is just struggling. But I would try to talk to her about it.
Tell me, what you mean she was struggling? There's something going on here that I'm not getting. What's going on?
I think she had a hard time finding a job when she moved here, and she's had a hard time making friends. She can't go out much because she doesn't have much money to spend, and so she's just kind of stuck home all the time.
Were you struggling? Let me just be candid. Were you depressed?
I mean, it was really hard. Yeah, it was tough for the first few months. Yeah. Totally.
All right. Were you isolated? Did you have any other friends outside of your sister?
We didn't know anybody here, so I was really happy to connect with this Massachusetts Women in LA Facebook group, because I was like, this is gonna be great, gonna find community.
Right.
And then my sister goes and badmouths me in front of someone from that group, and she posts this thing about me saying I'm a horrible person. Nobody should want to live with me.
Oh, so we're gonna get down to the reason we're really here today.
Yeah.
You're suing her for $2,500. You decided at the end of the first year that you all were living together that you were no longer gonna be her roommate, right? That you were gonna go and live with Jake. So now you've gotta find a roommate, right? That's why you're in here suing, because you were left without somebody to help pay the rent, right?
Right.
Okay, so that we're all clear. Now, you're in the process of trying to find a roommate, and what happened?
So I found someone great, Renee, and we met. It was great. She was really excited to move in. She loved the apartment, and she applies. She's great credit. Everything's going great.
Okay.
And then I bring her up to the apartment, and Jake is there. And I was like, what are you doing here? And then my sister comes in, and she's yelling at me, saying, why are you talking to him that way? You're a horrible person. oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. And then,
Well, why was Jake even there?
great
So
question.
He gave me a ride. I was going back to get some stuff I'd left in the bathroom, just like shampoo. And I was just going back to get some stuff, and I was in the bathroom, and then my sister comes back up. He was waiting in the living room, just sitting on the couch. My sister comes back up, I guess with this new person that she was gonna.
And she
try to get
wasn't
to move in.
expecting you or Jake to be there. I mean, let's be honest.
No, it's true.
So then you all get into it in front of the potential new roommate. And that roommate, let me guess, decides that she doesn't want to be your roommate.
Yeah, because of all these lies my sister was saying.
All right, let's get to the $2,500. So you're saying that for 2 months, you couldn't find a roommate. I hear about Renee. Were there other people that you were going to have as potential roommates that you're saying that she sabotaged?
Yeah, everyone on that Facebook group. I would reach out to people who would post and say, like, looking for a place. I'd say, oh, this is great. And then they'd either wouldn't message me back or they'd say, oh, sorry, I heard about this
All right,
place.
so Rachel, let's get to the bottom line because I need to rule on this case. Were you posting negative things on social media to the group that she's trying to use to get a new roommate?
I was not, Your Honor. What happened was when this new person who was maybe going to move in came upstairs, came into the living room, I had heard how my sister was talking to Jake, and she was just yelling at him just for being there. And I thought that was super unfair. So I walk in and I just say, stop yelling at him. And it had been enough. You know, like I had moved out because I had been dealing with this for months. And I moved out and I just thought that it was going to be behind me. And then just seeing her yell at him, it was just really frustrating.
You weren't even there. I thought he was in the apartment alone, which would really be the creepiest thing I could possibly think of.
Okay.
Coming up,
Rachel, were you mad? I'm just going to ask you straight up. Were you mad at her? And did you go out of your way to badmouth her to potential roommates?
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Fiona Egan, who is suing her twin sister, Rachel Egan, for unpaid rent.
You moved to LA together, and now you all aren't even speaking. I mean, really, is this worth it? Is this worth this kind of, not just a friendship, but losing a relationship with a sister? I mean, Rachel, were you mad? I'm just going to ask you straight up. Were you mad at her? And did you go out of your way to badmouth her to potential roommates?
No. What happened was when Renee came up and asked me, she saw us fighting, and she asked me, what was it like to live with her? And I just said,
You said it was hell.
Yeah, I said
Yeah.
it was terrible.
You said it was hell.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You said it was hell. I don't like her. She's mean. She's messy. You said all that. Partly because you were angry about the way she had treated Jake. I mean, let's be honest, right?
That's right.
I mean, is she really all those things, or are you mad at her because of the way she treated Jake?
I'm mad at her because of how she treated Jake, and also I feel like we're just barely sisters anymore, and I'm upset about it.
You know, the Jakes will come and go. Ooh, let me get comfortable here. The Jakes will come and go. I know what I'm talking about. Jakes will come and go. You all have any other siblings? Probably not. It's just probably the two of you, right? You all need to fix this.
Coming up,
I wouldn't want to come in if my roommate's boyfriend's underwear was on the sofa.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Fiona Egan, who is suing her twin sister, Rachel Egan, for unpaid rent.
I think that you were not assertive enough in talking to your sister. I realize that you were lonely. I realize that this is a drastic change to move from Massachusetts all the way across country to Los Angeles. But I think that you could have handled this differently with your sister. I think that you decided that you were mad at your sister because of the way she treated Jake, But Jake was there all the time. I wouldn't want to come in if my roommate's boyfriend's underwear was on the sofa and not, I mean, I wouldn't want to see that. You know, I really wouldn't. And then she felt betrayed. I'm going to just tell you, I know how this works. She felt betrayed because then at the end of the lease, she said, wait. I'm going to go live with Jake. And then she has trouble finding a roommate because she feels like you've sabotaged her on this situation. What really should have happened, really what should have happened, is that you should have, how much notice did you give her? Let me back up. How much notice did you give her that you were going to not continue on the new lease?
2 months.
2 months. In those 2 months, what you should have done is that you should have said, maybe I need to get an apartment, smaller apartment, that I can afford, right? But you then decided to go into this new lease without knowing how it's going to be paid for or if you had a roommate. Do I think that she could have handled this differently? Yes. Do I think that this is all going to really just fall apart and you all are not going to speak to each other? That is tragic. It is tragic. I want you both to hear me. It is tragic. You hear me? Tragic.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
So, I think you all both have some responsibility on this. I'm going to split it. I'm going to enter judgment for the plaintiff for $1,250. Does that math work out?
Sounds good.
Right? But, you know, I think you all have got to sit down and try to work this out. And I think that the relationship with your sister is more important that you're going to find out in the long run, because Jake may not be there for the long run. I'm just saying. I mean, maybe you all will get married and have 5 children and be married for 50 years. Maybe that will happen. I don't know. But what I do know is that you only have one sister. But I do need a commitment that when you all leave here, that there will be some kind of effort on both your parts to spend some time without Jake being there. All right? So I am going to split it so that you get judgment for $1,250. I think you both bear some responsibility in this situation. So that is the judgment of the court, so ordered, and we will stand adjourned. I wish you both well.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,250.
Any final words for each other?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I haven't reached out in 6 months.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling,
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
compassionate,
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
she's powerful,
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
and she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Sammy Wright is suing Becca Banford in the amount of $6,000. Ms. Wright claims she was fired from her job at the defendant's bar and says Ms. Banford would no longer allow her to breastfeed at work.
All right, Ms. Wright, you're in here suing Ms. Banford, who was your former employer.
That is correct.
And you're saying that she fired you because you were breastfeeding your child.
Yes.
And you're suing her for some $6,000 for lost wages. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
All right, so tell me how long had you been working for her? What did you do? Tell me what happened.
I worked for Miss Banford's bar in Hollywood for about 4 months. At the time of hiring, I was very upfront about the fact that I had a 6-month-old daughter and that I would need to pump at work to make sure I had enough to feed her. I didn't want to go back to work right away, but I'm a single mom and I needed to pay for my daughter to survive. And the first month went fine, but then she asked me to start picking up more shifts, and I did it to help out. But by month 3, she started making comments, and by month 4, she comes up to me in the middle of a shift and goes, "This is your last day."
All right, Ms. Bamford, what happened? You hired her with the understanding that she was breastfeeding her child and that she needed a pump. Is that understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me what happened.
When I interviewed Sammy for the position, I actually had an understanding with her because I too am a single mother, and I started my establishment as a single mother, breastfeeding with a brand new baby. So I took her on thinking that I kind of saw a little bit of drive that I had in her, and it wasn't about her taking on more shifts. It was more or less she wanted to make some money.
So she could have declined the additional shifts?
Of course she could have.
And she could have continued to work?
Absolutely.
Did you take on the additional shifts because you needed more work? You needed more money? You needed to earn more money? I mean, honestly.
I took on more shifts because she asked me to, because we were understaffed.
True.
I did it to help her. I asked her to give me
prime time,
better shifts, yes, and I did get those. But on top of that, she asked me to work even more. I was working 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes doubles, multiple times. I have a 6-month-old at home that I barely get to see.
My point is, though, Ms. Wright, I mean, just being really honest, I want to be honest about this.
Of course.
Even if she was understaffed, it would be her responsibility to go out and find some people to hire, right?
Yes.
And that the real question is, did you take on all these additional times because you needed the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So that wasn't really on her. She says that you could have declined those additional shifts, but you chose to take on. And I'm not being critical of you. I get it. You're a single mom, a brand new baby, and being a new mom with a new baby and working is not easy. I know that. So it sounds like to me that things were okay as long as we were at the first level of shifts.
Correct.
And responsibilities.
Correct.
And as you took on more shifts and more responsibilities, that things became more complicated. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
On her own accord, by the way. She wanted to.
Well, and this is what she's saying now.
Right.
I think she's saying I wanted to help out, but I think she also really acknowledges that it was helping her financially.
Correct.
To take on more responsibilities. So what did you observe once that happened?
What started happening is, in fact, I actually created an environment for her to pump in my office. So during the periods that she would have to take her break and go into my office, I would then go and watch the bar, basically do her shift while she's in my office.
I really do appreciate that.
Well, you're welcome.
So what happened?
Well, what happened was it turned out to be a 20-minute time period. Then all of a sudden she's gone for 45 minutes. She really abused that time that I gave her. So her and I kind of started having just a brief conversation with her about her time management because it was ludicrous. And again, this doesn't go back to the fact that I had to fire her for the breastfeeding. It's not about that. Her time management is off. She's was completely tardy every single day. There was tons of excuses.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
The only times I was tardy was for my child.
Well,
because I couldn't find childcare.
90%
because
of the
she
time.
was scheduling me so often.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Sammy Wright, who is suing Becca Banford for $6,000.
Talk about this. So what you're telling me is that, Judge, it wasn't that I fired her because of the breastfeeding. But you've told me a few things. You told me that you accommodated her, that you agreed that she made space in her office,
Yes.
and that she accommodated you for these breaks for breastfeeding.
Yes.
What I am hearing is something different now, that there were other problems
Of course, yes.
that really impacted her ability to work and your ability to run the bar efficiently.
Exactly.
So that's what I want to understand. Tell me what happened.
What happened over time, it was consistent tardiness and excuses. And again, it went from like a 20-minute pump break to hours, well, an hour.
So when you say she was tardy, you said she was tardy every day, every time.
90% of the time.
That's a lot. Is that true?
The only times I was tardy was for my child.
Well,
Because I couldn't find childcare.
90%
Because
of the
she
time.
was scheduling me so often. Yes, I needed the money. Yes, I needed the shifts. But she also had control of the schedule. She never wrote me up for anything. We only had these talks about time management, which was really her making comments under her breath about, really? Again? Did you wash the dishes? What about the customers?
So how did this get to a tipping point? What triggered your decision to terminate her?
Well, it was, again, probably the last month that she was,
When she finally hired 3 new employees.
well, it was the last month while she was there. Again, I did make certain hints, like, you're late again, and then, Your Honor.
I'm going to stop you right there. As a business owner, no more hints,
Right.
right? No more hints.
Thank you.
You need to be very clear. You need to voice
Right.
your concerns, and you need to put it in writing.
Right.
As a business
My
owner.
biggest mistake, yes.
Yes. You know, this is a teachable moment.
Right.
That you can't say, you can't go under your breath, oh, late again, or oh, I'm so disgusted, or whatever. You have to say, listen, Sammy.
And write it down.
You have been late 3 of the 4 days this week. And you need to write it down.
Right.
And you need to say, this is your first warning. If it happens again, maybe you give another warning, you put that in writing, and so that you have documented very clearly what it is that you're concerned about, but this whole giving hints is not what you do as a businesswoman.
The under the breath comments were more sincere than what she's making them sound to be. And in fact, half the time, many of the time, she would have our other staff covering her shifts. So Lacey or Zach would walk in when it was her shift. So I was
I
suddenly.
would tell you ahead of time.
You did not. You did not. And so my business is completely up in the air with scheduling because she has other people covering her, or it wasn't clear in their text messages, which I have, Your Honor,
Let me
proof
see these.
of the many times that she has text messaged the other employees to cover her shifts.
I was very clear with her whenever I had anyone covering
That's
or
not
when I
true.
was going to be late.
Did you put it in writing? Did you text her directly? Or
I
just...
texted her directly.
No, in fact, there's an email exchange that you have with the other employees, one complaining about her consistent.
Well, no. There's one that says, hi, Becca, sorry for the late notice, but I won't be able to come today. I mean, that's on the day that you're not coming.
Yes.
I couldn't find anyone to watch my daughter. You say, for real, I know being a new mom is hard, but I'm short-staffed as it is. I need someone here. Don't worry, I got Zach to cover my shift.
Right.
But the appropriate way to do is say, I've already contacted Zach. I'm letting you know that he's covering my shift. And, you know, sometimes emergencies come up and you can't do that in advance.
But, Your Honor,
But it seems like this is going on a lot. I mean, this seems to be a trend.
Yes.
with,
Or Zach would just show up when I was expecting Sammy to be there. So
my daughter has a cold, I can't come.
Right.
I feel like I should stay with her today. I get that.
Chronically.
I'm sorry I got Zach to cover. And it's on and on and on. I'm running a little late today, but I will be there in 30 minutes. There's a lot of things that say that you were late a lot.
It was really last minute to find cover a lot of times.
I understand.
I have a very small support system.
I understand.
It's pretty much just me and my sister. And that's,
I understand.
she can't always watch my daughter.
I understand.
So,
I
Your
do
Honor, I
understand.
should also, before, I kind of feel like I'm actually on the up and up on this case. However, it got to the point where then her sister would bring in the baby to the bar so that the baby could breastfeed in the office.
When I was on break.
But still,
And she would leave
can
when
you
my
imagine?
break was over.
Coming up,
The day I had to let her go, she needs to go work in a daycare or somewhere that's a little more accommodating for children.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Sammy Wright, who is suing Becca Banford for $6,000.
So this was at the tail end of everything. So then the baby's coming in with her sister, and everybody's excited to see the baby. I have to admit, goo goo gaga, I was too.
Cute kid.
But again, this started happening on a regular when she worked, because now she's not pumping, she has to feed. So
I would have been
it's just-
pumping if I
we're in a
wasn't
bar.
actually feeding her.
But again, she needs, and as I said to her the day I had to let her go, she needs to go work in a daycare or somewhere that's a little more accommodating for children.
Right.
And breastfeeding.
You know,
Not
it's
a
very
common-
interesting you say that because I'm thinking that a job where there is
In a bar.
child care on the premises would be ideal for you.
Exactly.
Not that easy to find, but working in a bar with all of these complicated shifts and having a new baby and only having your sister as support really doesn't add up. Because what happens, let me tell you what happens, is that the stress of not knowing day to day what's going to happen with this precious baby and how you're going to make it and how you're going to make ends meet just adds and compounds to the stress. New mothers, under the best of circumstances, that have this amazing support system, that have people who come into their homes, it's still a challenge, right? There would be days, honestly, when I was thinking, you know, why don't these women get it together before I had a baby, right? And I'd look up and it would be 2 o'clock and I would still be in my pajamas. You know, that was the best I could do that day. You know, I still have on my bathrobe.
Coming up,
I'm not being critical. Honest to goodness, if anybody understands where you are and what you're going through, I do. I honestly do.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Sammy Wright, who is suing Becca Banford for $6,000.
And I had told this amazing civil rights icon that I was going to work on his autobiography while I was home on maternity leave. Do you know, I hardly knew my name some days. How was I going to write somebody's autobiography, right? I mean, listen, I barely knew my own name some days. It is not easy. And I'm not being critical. Honest to goodness, if anybody understands where you are and what you're going through, I do. I honestly do. But I also know that she had a business to run. And her business did not say that she had to accommodate you over and over and over and over again. Now, what we are going to do is that before you leave this courthouse today, I'm going to have somebody reach out to a social worker and see if we can't find and help you with some job placement.
Bravo.
In a place that can then have child care on the premises so that you can go on breaks, you can breastfeed her, you can see about her, you can take her to work and drop her off in the child care center, and you can work, and you know that she's fine and she's taken care of, right? Now, that's not going to solve all the problems. That's not. But that will go a long way in helping to bring some stability and some consistency in your life. And we're going to have somebody working on that so that we can try to get you some help on that, all right?
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
If I thought for a moment that she had done this out of malice or that she had fired you just because you were breastfeeding this precious baby, I would have a very different approach to this case. I don't believe that's true. I believe that she cared about you. I believe that she took you under her wing, as she describes it. I think that she wanted you to succeed. I think she saw some of herself in you, as she's told me, the passion, the drive to get it done. Now, what we are going to do, under these circumstances, Sammy, I am going to deny your claim.
Thank you.
For the reasons I have stated. And honest to goodness, I wish you well. And I thank you also for making the accommodations that you did for this young mother.
I tried.
Nothing further. We will stand adjourned. Plaintiff's claim is denied.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
Gather your belongings. Let's exit to the rear of the court. Come this way, please.
I'm sorry. You know I'm going to take care of you. You know I'm going to take care of you. Thank you. You know I will. You should have came to me before. We had to get here. Appreciate it.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Barbara Johnson is suing Jake Crum in the amount of $2,343.32. Ms. Johnson claims her elderly sister's much younger boyfriend took advantage of her financially and says he ran up a huge credit card bill while she was on her deathbed.
Good day. Hi, you are here. And first of all, let me say I've read the complaint and my condolences to you and your family for the loss of your sister who had been sick for a while. But you are here because you're bringing a claim against her boyfriend, who was her boyfriend at that time, correct? And you're saying, Barbara, that Jake basically duped your sister's estate out of money because there were some charges on her credit card.
Totally believe that.
And so there is a claim, so I can get exactly the right amount, $2,343.32 exactly. So that we can frame this in understanding, your claim is basically that he used her credit card, that it's your contention that he should not have used the credit card, and that you want the money back. So you are now in charge of your sister's estate, is that correct?
Correct. I'm the
And it's my
executive.
understanding that she has one living heir, her daughter.
Yes.
And so that you want to clear up everything, and you want him to pay that money back so that can be part of the assets for the estate.
Absolutely.
All right? So tell me your relationship with the deceased, her sister.
Well, Your Honor, Jackie and I were dating for a year and a half. We were very much in love. and we even intended to get married.
Oh, come on.
Sadly,
Clearly, you don't approve of this. You didn't approve of the relationship?
No, my sister was 60 years old. He's not even 30.
60 years old, and he's not even 30.
if it was a man with a younger woman, it wouldn't be as much of an issue.
It'd
but
still
because
be an
it's
issue.
a woman
It's
with a
30
younger
years. It doesn't
man,
matter.
you have a problem with it.
No, I
So
haven't.
did you
How
know
is it-
him before your sister passed away?
Yes, I'd met him.
You met him. Did you express some concern to your sister about this relationship?
Some.
And some? You're
Some.
under oath.
I did express concern, but
Why were you concerned? Because of the age?
With the age, and look, my sister's been sick for most of the time that they've been dating. He's so much younger than her. They have nothing in common.
How do you know they don't have anything in common?
I know my sister. My sister and I were very close. We talk every day.
All right, so how did you meet her sister?
Well, sounds like a story, of course, but sadly it was in a bar, and we just hit it off, and we just kept running into each other, and we just figured, hey, we're having a good time together. Let's see where it goes. You never know who you're going to fall in love with.
Were you concerned about the age difference?
Not at all.
Was she concerned about the age difference?
Not with me, no.
Oh, she had some concerns.
She had some concerns.
Initially.
But
initially?
Was your sister happy? Was your sister happy in this relationship?
Yes.
Would you want your sister to be happy?
Absolutely.
All right, so now why are you suing him?
I'm suing him because he wrongfully used her credit cards to build thousands of dollars, of which 2,300 were purchases for himself.
Let's talk about this. You say that 2,300 out of the
thousands. He had billed lots of different things. He billed things for her. I'm only suing
For
him.
her.
Yeah, I'm only suing him for the things that he purchased for himself, not for the things that he bought for her. But there's a lot of suspect things on these
Well,
bills.
talk to me about this, and I'm certain that you must have some evidence that you want to show.
I do. I have the bills here for you that I can present. But he spent over half of the amounts that he spent on himself. So the 2,300 was just for him. He bought her gifts for her, supposedly on her credit card. So she was getting gifts. She got flowers. Okay?
Among other things.
So I don't think she ever knew that she was paying for those flowers. I think he had her credit card number because I have her actual credit card. He doesn't have her credit card. I have it.
So let's cut through the chase. You used her credit card?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so just walk me through. You all met, you were dating for a year and a half, you tell me that you all were in love and that you were planning to get married. What was the relationship like?
I'm smiling just thinking about her. It's just great happiness, great fun. We enjoy each other's company. Even when she got sick.
Did you know that she was terminally ill?
Not yet. Not yet. No. Okay. We met each other. We're dating. This was all before she got sick. I wanted to stay by her, did not want to leave her, and I took it upon myself to take care of her all the time. Sadly, it was a very serious case of cancer.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
How could you be with her around the clock?
Well, that leads me to my next point, Your Honor. Sadly, I was taking care of her so much that unfortunately I lost my job.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Barbara Johnson, who is suing Jake Crum for bad debt.
Where were you when your sister was so sick?
So I live on the East Coast. She lives on the West.
Okay.
And so I would love to have been with her all the time, but I couldn't. So I came back every month, though, to visit her and stay with her and take care of things for her state.
And so when you come during those monthly visits, what did you observe about their relationship?
They were together a lot.
Is it
They had
fair?
fun.
Is it fair to say that he took care of her?
Look, when I came to visit, usually he was not around. So I didn't eyewitness things.
I would think that he wanted to give you space with your sister.
And that
Exactly,
made-
Your Honor. Exactly. I understood her feelings towards me, and
So you gave them space. That was smart. But is it fair to say that he was your sister's primary caretaker?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that at some point we knew that your sister wasn't going to recover
Yes.
and that he was there.
Yes.
He was there day in and day out taking care of your sister. But you're saying that during that time that he abused her financial situation and made all these charges.
Yes, I don't think she knew about half of these, or probably all of these. Look, her credit cards, she was paying just the interest on them.
So talk to me, what kind of charges are we talking about? Wait, before we get to that, how could you, Jake, then take care, were you working? I mean, how could you be with her around the clock?
Well, that leads me to my next point, Your Honor. Sadly, I was taking care of her so much that unfortunately I lost my job. I understood that was a risk. However, I made my decision and I would do it all over again. I have here my letter of termination from my company for taking care of her sister all that time.
Did you know that he lost his job because of this?
I don't know that he lost his job because of that. I think it could have been incompetence.
Yes.
All I understand is that he lost his job because he didn't show up.
Because I was taking care of your sister.
Well, my understanding, it was unexplained
How do you know?
absences.
How do you know?
Just from discussions with my sister.
All right, not only did you lose your job, you lost your health coverage, your insurance, you lost all the benefits of your job, you lost all the perks.
I understood the risks.
Not just your salary,
Yes.
but you lost everything.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you gave that all up to be there to take care of her sister around the clock.
And I would do it again.
Wow. I'm convinced, Barbara, that he did lose his job because of the fact that he was caring for your sister for 24 hours a day.
Look,
wait, let me ask you this. If Jake hadn't done it, who would have been there to do it? Where was her daughter?
Her daughter was overseas. She's in the military.
Right? And you were on the East Coast.
Look, my objection here, just to be clear, I didn't ask him to pay back all of the bills for the things. I didn't ask him for anything other things that he bought for her.
Well, let's talk about
it.
Let's talk about this.
I was focused on just the things that he bought for himself.
Tell me. Tell me about your evidence.
What really bothered me, I didn't see these bills until after she died. I don't think she knew what you were doing. I don't think she had any idea that some of these purchases,
like
particularly.
What? So help me understand, because you've looked at them.
Of the $2,300 that were purchased during the last 2 weeks of her life, when she was dying, she was in the hospital. Over half of the purchases were made for himself. He bought himself men's shoes for $337. $337? I've never bought shoes for that much. When you're unemployed,
she wanted me to get them. She wanted me to get them.
$337? That seems egregious.
She wanted me to get them.
He got a suit for $700. Again, I mean, I would never, I'm working. If you were fiscally responsible to spend that kind of money, it just doesn't sound right to me, Judge. He had multiple cologne sets for $145, several things for women's gifts.
Yes,
I don't know that she even received them. I suspect that maybe you had somebody on the side who got all these. I don't remember seeing all this.
What time did I have to find somebody else? I was with her all the time.
You were buying for her, women's exfoliating cream set
what she
the
wanted.
day before she died.
Okay,
she
let's
was
give him an
almost
opportunity. Talk to me about the things that you purchased.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she's saying that so much of this happened in the last 2 weeks that her sister was alive and her sister was in the hospital. I would assume, although I know not to assume, that she may have been in hospice at this point because the last 2 weeks of her life. Is that a fair assumption?
She was, absolutely.
She was in hospice. So talk to me, Jake. Tell me about these charges.
Well, the only time that she would ever really smile or show any joy was having me come in with some nice clothing, some nice fragrances.
Come on.
She loved seeing me happy. She wanted to reward the love and devotion that I gave to her. She just liked seeing me like this. She liked to see me smile. And
$337 shoes, $700 suits when you're unemployed?
What about the charges that are there for you? I'm not the only one who spent money on that card.
Look,
let's talk about this. What charges on there?
I guarantee.
The only thing
who's
that
paying
you'll
for
see,
a flight back out here?
Look, the only thing that you'll see on here is my travel costs.
Coming up.
There's 2 expensive men's suits. There's Air Jordan tennis shoes. There's all sorts of stuff on there that if you're unemployed, it's the last thing that I would be purchasing.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Barbara Johnson, who is suing Jake Crum for bad debt.
She gave me her credit card so that I could come in. I work as a paralegal. I don't make much, but I made a point to take off work every single month so that I could come in and see her. And she handed me her card.
On her dime.
Yes, but she gave me the card.
So let me see this, because I want to see what was charged.
This is when she
who was
at the very
charged,
end. Here's the rest of them too. You should
and
look
who
at all of them.
benefited. So now, why did you have to have cologne to come into the hospital?
Multiple sets, by the way.
She liked it. She liked the smell. It always made her smile.
Okay, so I understand that these are color-coded. So the blue charges are the ones you're saying that he charged on her credit card, and the pink one is your travel. Is that correct?
Yeah, the little pink one is my travel, just to highlight that for you.
Okay,
But everything
thank you.
else, I don't know if all of the blue, all of his charges were caught. But you can tell pretty easily because there's 2 expensive men's suits. There's Air Jordan tennis shoes. There's all sorts of stuff on there that if you're unemployed, it's the last thing that I would be purchasing. It's the egregious amount of what was purchased and the timing of it that really makes me suspect about all of this.
So the charges, I understand that there were flowers that he bought for your sister. You're not asking for reimbursement for that?
No, not at all.
Just the things that he enjoyed personally?
For himself, yes.
Okay, Jake, talk to me about why it was necessary for you to have a $700 suit, $337 pair of shoes.
It was all what Jackie wanted.
Coming up.
So, Barbara, should there be some consideration for the fact that he cared for your sister for months and months and months and months?
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Barbara Johnson, who is suing Jake Crum for bad debt.
Jackie wanted me to enjoy myself. She enjoyed seeing me happy. She obviously could not leave the hospital, so I was in charge of most of her finances, and she said, oh yeah, go out and get whatever you want. Come back and show it to me. Show it off for me. And it always made her smile, brought a bright spot into her day.
So is it fair to say that she was not a woman who was wealthy?
I'd say she was very, very generous. She was a very generous woman, maybe not completely wealthy, but very generous.
You can be generous and not have money.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Barbara, should there be some consideration for the fact that he cared for your sister for months and months and months and months?
Yeah, he lived in her house free. He didn't pay for anything. I'm not asking for that. I didn't even go through the bank records. I don't have access to those, so I don't know. He may have taken cash out for all I know.
Your Honor, I'd also
this was just all triggered by me after my sister died, finding all these expenses when she was in the hospital. Her credit card was charged.
All right. I'm not thrilled that Jake went out and spent $337 on a pair of shoes, and then he went out and bought some expensive tennis shoes, and he had a $700-something suit. I'm not thrilled about that, and some cologne. But I also think that equity requires that there be some consideration for this man who I am convinced lost his job, lost all of his benefits to care for your sister.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
If I, in my heart of hearts, thought that he was a con man, he would have taken a lot more than $2,300. But I'm going to chalk the $2,300 up as just a partial reimbursement for all the time that he spent caring and loving and supporting his sister, and because the man lost his job. I am dismissing your claim. I hope you understand the ruling, and if there's nothing further, we will stand adjourned. But let me tell you, when you get back on your feet and you get a job and you get situated again, you are going to contribute. I don't care if it's 5 years from now, you're going to contribute $1,000 to a memorial fund that will benefit her sister. Are we clear?
Would love to do so.
Nothing
love to
further.
do so.
That is the order of the court. We will stand adjourned.
I loved your sister very, very much, and she will always be a part of my life.
You know, I wish I could believe you. I really, truly wish I could believe you, but from the depth of my heart, I know you took advantage of her. I'm
All I can say
disappointed.
is that
I'm
I
just
loved her.
grateful for the memorial fund. At least there's some good coming out of it.
Let's exit to the rear of the court so you have all your information. This way, please.
Second thought, it's going to be $2,000. You got 5 years to come up with it. $2,000 in the memorial fund. I think you gave up a lot to care for her toward the end. And if I didn't think that, I would have given her the money today. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll stand adjourned.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.
All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me.
I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling,
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
compassionate,
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
she's powerful,
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
and she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Lily Coleman is suing Cecily Coleman in the amount of $25,000. Ms. Coleman claims her father set aside money for her college tuition and says after his sudden death, her mother spent it all.
Whew, Lily. You know, obviously I've read this complaint. I mean, this breaks my heart. It breaks my heart for so many reasons. Obviously, I'm disciplined. I have an oath that I've taken to be a judge. But I'm also a mother, you know, and it always just pulls at my heart when I see situations like this when you're all on opposite sides of the courtroom. But you're in here suing your mother.
Yes.
For $25,000.
Yes.
Talk to me. What is going on?
I'm suing my mom for $25,000 because she used my college fund after my dad died.
When did your dad die? How long ago?
A few years ago. He died right before my senior year, so before I graduated.
My. And there was a $25,000 college fund that your husband left for your daughter's college?
We had set aside $25,000 to be used for her college, and he was working. I was a stay-at-home mom. So yeah, but we had to use it in order to pay the house off after he died. We just got into I just got into a financial situation, and I had nowhere else to turn, or else we would have lost the house.
So what was the arrangement? Was this in a trust fund? Was this in a savings account?
We just had a savings account.
A savings account for her college?
For her college fund, yes.
So how were you supposed to live after your husband died? I mean, it sounds like to me you're saying, but Judge, I had to use the college fund to live.
Right.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
That you were, based on the complaint, I understand that you were on the verge of losing the house.
Yes.
The house was going to be foreclosed on.
Yes, yes, I have the paperwork for that too.
So show me, tell me, I need to understand what happened.
So my husband was killed in a car accident.
Oh my God.
And
So sorry.
yeah, it was the worst day of my life. Unfortunately, that situation brought us together.
So why didn't you all get along? Tell me. You know, obviously I'm going to rule on the money, but there's more happening here.
Right.
Between the two of you than this $25,000, which is significant. But why weren't you all getting along?
You know, we painted
She
a
was a
picture.
daddy's girl.
She was definitely a daddy's girl. Definitely a daddy's girl. We painted a picture when we put our lives together, my husband and I, and found out we were pregnant and we had a girl, and you know, everything turned pink and bows, and you have the picture perfect life that you plan out.
Right. Only child?
Only child. We had her, and right away I had postpartum. I was unable to breastfeed, and I just felt like a failure, and there was such a disconnect there. I did go to a breastfeeding specialist. She tried to help. My husband was so supportive, and I tried the pump. We tried so many different things, and it ended up in tears almost every night.
Yeah.
So we had to move on from there and just use formula, which my husband was very supportive about. And so he took a lot of the initiative in feeding her, which created a lot of that time, just time together, that bonding time. And since then, she's just been a daddy's girl. She's more of a tomboy, I'm more of a girly girl. And she just spent more time with him. She went fishing and playing golf, things that, you know, sometimes I just felt like a third wheel.
Right. Well, you lost your dad tragically. I lost my dad suddenly, not in an auto accident, but one minute he was there and then he was gone. And so I know that trauma. I do know that trauma. But you're in here suing your mom over this $25,000, which she has said to me is that she needed that money to save the home that you grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me. What are you thinking?
I didn't know that she had used the money. I always thought that it was there. My dad had told me that when I was ready to go to college, that I would have money that he set aside for me to go to college, and I felt like he really believed in me and wanted me to go to college. And so when I went to start applying and putting it together and asked her about the money, it was gone. It was already spent, and I didn't have a choice or a say in it. And I think it was too much for me.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
We don't really sit down and have conversations. It's usually either one-sided. We even tried to get counseling together.
You did? You did try to get counseling together?
Yes, we tried to get counseling.
You say no.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Lily Coleman, who is suing her mother, Cecily Coleman, for theft.
All right, so now explain to me, I want to see the documentation about the house.
Yes.
Help me understand exactly what was going on with the house. You got behind on the notes.
Yes.
You were a stay-at-home mom, so you weren't working outside the home.
Yes.
And were you able to maybe get a job? Were you able to do something? How are you all being supported?
At first, right after he died, we had a grieving period where we were together, and we actually it was probably the better time of my life. Then reality started to set in. Bills started coming in, notices in different colors. I did end up getting a job,
So you were making the effort.
You
did apply. You weren't just sitting at home wringing your hands.
Absolutely.
You were making the effort to try to find some source of income into the home.
Yes, yes. But it was just a lot more than I can handle.
Right.
The mortgage and keeping up with everything.
How much is the mortgage?
The mortgage was $4,000 a month.
Okay.
And
that's the documentation that you brought to court
That's the documentation,
today?
yes.
Okay, may I see that?
Absolutely. So this is the foreclosure, intent of foreclosure, and then this is the receipt of payment where I used the $25,000 for the home.
Did you ever think to just sit down and say, Lily, this is where we are. Your father made this commitment, he put aside the $25,000, but this is my reality, that we're going to lose our home because I now have this letter of foreclosure if I don't get caught up. Did you ever think to just sit down and have that conversation with her?
We don't really sit down and have conversations. It's usually either one-sided. We even tried to get counseling together.
You
or
did?
even
You
separate.
did try to get counseling together?
Yes, we tried to get counseling.
You say no.
No.
No, she didn't try to get counseling?
She wanted me to, but I didn't want to.
Tell me why.
I felt like it was being forced on me, and I wasn't ready to.
And you were angry.
Open up, and yeah.
I mean, let's get real about this. You were angry. You were grieving. Your father's gone. He was snatched from you, in a sense, in a car accident. And one minute he's with you, and then he's gone. Would it have helped if your mother had sat down and said, Lily, I need this money to save our home? Would it have helped?
I would have liked her to tell me what was going on and at least talk about it with me. That would have been.
Anytime we sit down, it's not just a conversation like that. It's backlash, it's anger. She was still grieving in a very different way than I was.
I wish, Lily, that you had really been open, though, to going to counseling. I understand why you didn't. I understand that you probably weren't in a headspace to go to counseling, but it may have helped. And so you're saying that you couldn't talk to her. You made the unilateral decision to spend the money to save the home.
Yes, not by myself. I mean, I prayed about it. I thought about it. I went through all the numbers. I talked to some friends. And financially, and just to have a roof over our head, I think that was the best decision to use the money. We can figure everything else out later, but now we're here, so.
What will it take to fix this? Starting with you first. What will it take to fix this?
I would love her to live in the house with me and go to a community college, start off that way, and I will do whatever I can to help her. Whatever financial needs, I will get a second job. I don't know. We just don't talk, and I don't know what else to do.
Obviously, I'm going to rule on this money. Lily, I'm going to rule on the money. But there is a bigger piece to this than the money. You will go to college. We're going to figure that out today before you leave this courthouse.
I feel like right now I really need my space, and I think that this would help me get my freedom, having the money to go to college and just separate for a little bit so that I can figure out how to be on my own and not feel like I'm being so suffocated all the time.
We're going to work this out. All right, but more importantly, before we leave this courtroom, I want to know what you all are willing to commit to. What are you willing to commit to?
I will do whatever it takes to get my daughter back. I don't want to leave her like this. And I'm not sure if she wants to.
I think she's hurting. And I think it's going to take some time. In fact, I know it's going to take some time. You're hurting deeply, and you both are in different ways. You both have experienced a huge loss in your lives. You've lost your husband, you've lost your father, and now you're angry because on top of that, you feel like you've lost the opportunity to go to college. I'm going to say it one more time. Lily, we're going to figure out how you're going to go to college. That is going to happen. But it also may mean that you need to get a job. You know, you may have to do some work study.
Coming up.
The house that you're used to being in is not going to be the house that you're going to live in. It may be a smaller house. It may be a condo. We may have to sacrifice some. But we're going to figure this out.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Lily Coleman, who is suing her mother, Cecily Coleman, for theft.
I also need you to make sure that we get an appointment for you for a good financial advisor.
Okay.
My team is going to work on that with you, get you an appointment, and you're going to sit down. Maybe the house that you're used to being in is not going to be the house that you're going to live in. It may be a smaller house. It may be a condo. We may have to downsize. We may have to sacrifice some.
Right.
But we're going to figure this out.
Okay.
Because Lily is going to go to college. She is going to go to college. All right, so we're going to figure out the financial piece of this, all right?
Yeah.
But what I need is a commitment. Do I need to come down there? I need a commitment from the two of you that you're going to really commit to trying to fix this relationship. But it is not going to happen overnight. It's not. We didn't get into this situation overnight. We're not going to get out of it overnight. You know how long I've been doing this? For a long time. You know, and I've seen too many broken hearts. All right, so you've said to me you don't want to be in counseling. I need you to reconsider that. You need her. You need her.
Yeah.
All right? So you may have to swallow your pride, may have to sell the house.
Coming up.
Counseling? Be honest, be honest.
I'm open to going when I feel like I'm ready, you know?
When will you be ready?
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Lily Coleman, who is suing her mother, Cecily Coleman, for theft.
You may have to downsize. Maybe instead of a home, maybe it's a condominium, but it doesn't matter. It's like wherever you are is what home is.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna get a financial advisor, counseling. Be honest, be honest.
I'm open to going when I feel like I'm ready, you know?
When will you be ready? You don't know. I need you to get ready. You know, sometimes you just have to jump in the deep end. You know, and I'm asking you to go because you don't know if it's going to work unless you try it. I need you to be willing to try it. Come on. I need you to be willing to try this. Right?
It just seems like a lot.
It's a lot. And I'm asking you because it's not just the joint counseling with your mother. It's the grieving counseling that you need to have individually for yourself. Is one day you're going to perhaps have children. You don't want to carry this dark cloud over you into a relationship if you decide that you want to have children. You don't.
Yeah.
Okay? So I need you to jump in the deep end. I need you to go counseling. I need you to try it. And perhaps the individual counseling, that's what we need to do. We need to schedule the individual counseling first and then counseling with your mom. All right? Anything you all want to say to each other?
I love you, Lily, and I want to do anything we can to move forward. I'm sorry that we lost Roger, but I think we can make this work. I'd really love to try anything we can.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
All right, I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to suspend ruling on this case. I'm going to hold it in suspension. But eventually, there's going to have to be the $25,000 back.
Okay.
Into a trust fund, a savings account for her to go. So technically, I am ruling in her favor today, but I am holding that open because it's not realistic that you can come up with $25,000 today. You just can't.
Yeah.
Let's be really clear about it.
Okay.
So you're going to have to do your part, you're going to have to do your part, and you're going to have to work together.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
You do what you have to do to get what you need. All right? And in the end of this, your father will be very proud that you didn't give up and that you did not use this as a reason for not doing what you need to do. Are we clear? So technically, yes, I'm entering judgment in favor of you today, but I am holding implementation of that judgment until we can figure out a realistic plan to make that happen. All right, there's nothing further. We'll stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchett has ruled the final verdict has been suspended.
I hope that we can have a relationship in the future.
There's nothing I want more than that, and I'll do anything I can to help.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.